All right. You know what this means. It's 7 o'clock. It's time to roll that intro. Episode 2. This is Be Resourceful. We're going to teach y'all a few things. We're going to drop a few keys this evening. But shout outs to everybody that's tuning in on the live.
Shout outs to my mama being the first viewer. What up, mama?
Okay. Mama came through. Hang on, we still trying to get this right.
Listen, you're
you know what I mean?
You're living this with us.
Yes.
You're living this with us.
There's a few things that we need to sort out still.
So by the way, do you guys love our cocina?
Yes.
If you guys haven't noticed, we are in the kitchen, baby.
We got things going. Hang on. We here. So let's talk about what we got going on tonight. Tell them, Jenny, what we got? Listen. We got a few things. Hang on. Let me just make sure.
Surprises for you guys. We got some guests. Guess what?
Yes. Okay. So let's talk about what we got going on the table at La Cocina. You see my backdrop, right? Yes. Listen, shout outs to Dad, because Dad told me you can't have a La Cocina podcast without there being a Cocina. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So shout outs to him. And we're going to kick this off with a trending topics. We're going to spend about 10 to 15 minutes on that because we got a lot to cover in today's show. I have my boy Mark Marvel, TCNY in the building. Hang on, let's pull him up.
Hey, Mark.
Let's pull him up.
What's going on, guys?
What up, Mark?
Hang on, let's make sure he's on. Is he on?
Yes, he is.
But my whole thing is like it's not letting me see the live at the same time. You know what I'm saying?
But so good, they can hear my voice.
Hey,
my voice is just as
okay.
loud.
Cocineras, tell me, can you see him? Yes or no?
Yeah,
let us know.
Let us know.
You're living with us, so let us know.
We need your help.
Can y'all see the Filipino?
Yeah. He's on. Not only do we have him, hang on, hold it.
Another surprise.
But we also have another surprise guest coming from Long Island. That's a trip too.
Long Island.
Okay, island to island. Here we go. We got the Ambition 1706.
Yes.
Is he up? Oh my goodness.
You need to see all this chocolate melanated goodness.
Like,
I don't got the deep voice like the Filipino Barry White over here, so you gotta let them see me. Like,
you got the star glow, baby.
We see.
All right, so as for the Ambition 1706, he is a songwriter and producer coming out of Long Island. He is here to share with us his EP, Chase the Crown. It is available everywhere. We're gonna get into a little bit about that, but fellas, if y'all are ready, let us commence on the trending topic segment. So
yes, let's sip some tea. And we'll have that THC later.
Yeah. I can't. Hold on 1 second. All right, so first things on the table, you already know. We got to talk about this Drake and Pusha T stuff.
Silence.
Nice.
We got to talk about it. We got to talk about it. So I'll start with... I'm going to actually start with Staten Island, the corner over there. Let's start with you, Mark.
Let's talk about it.
Talk to me about what you think in terms of this Pusha T and Drake beef.
I think it's one of the best things to happen for 2018, honestly, rap beef-wise. And when we look at rap beef, we really look at the skills. We want to observe those specific things when it comes to rapping and battling. But we got a lot of facts that was put on the table, a lot of behind the scenes stuff that was brought to the light. And I mean, we talking about Pusha T, like that's not a pushover guy, that's King Push.
He was bringing all kind of tea, honey.
Yes, he was definitely bringing a lot of terror if you really think about it. And for Drake, you know what I'm saying, I'm pretty sure he's gonna move accordingly. You know what I'm saying? And be smart.
Actually, he hasn't moved at all though.
That's the point though. Sometimes you gotta be like prompt. You got to respond.
But here's the thing:
at a time
everybody
when people
said
count you out.
Everybody said he had 24 hours to respond, and I'm sure it's past 24 hours. Where is the response?
Fat.
I mean, when they're coming at
Facts.
your dad and they're coming at you putting on a black face, I think it's going to take a little bit more than 24 hours.
Well, you know what? It's the perfect time to bring in the black man for that. So,
Yes.
Nick, talk to
Strong
me, bro.
Island.
So, valuable lessons to learn from the Drake Pusha T beef. One, if we're going back to like real beef, we're talking about like back in the day of like Nas versus Jay-Z. If we talking like 50 Cent versus Ja Rule, which, you know, it's people dropping disrespectful. Like, everybody goes, oh, Pusha went too far. Like, if you grew up on 90s Hot 97, people went too far all the time. The stuff that Jay-Z said about Nas on that Jungle joint, like, he released with Angie Martinez when she was still on the station. I can't even say it on this station. So, that's one. Two, we've moved into a world now where people have to really understand that people are going to really get back at you with bars. Like, at the end of the day, no matter what you want to say about Pusha T, he is a lyricist first. And he's not an entertainer. He got nothing to lose. Right. So, you know, my only thing is calling out baby mamas is fair game. I still think mentioning people's kids is a little, that's the line. Like, I feel like if Drake was a hood dude, like if I see you in the street, like I might have to fight you over that verse. Just for just naming my kid, like that's the line. Like if we're going all the way back to the 90s, like we might have to fight. That's not my nature, but let's just be honest.
No, yes, I agree with you.
What I think that Drake may do is that he may pull a Nas, because now remember everything's digital, so he could add an extra song to the album. Because I'm one of those few believers. I believe that Jay-Z won that one. You know, I'm sorry. Jay-Z won versus Nas. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. And I'll explain to you why. Because remember, I'm explaining why. Because
we're in America.
Because I mean, we're looking. I mean, in terms of legacy, maybe Jay-Z won. But if we're just being honest, the situation is, even though Jay-Z's response was crazy, everybody heard Ether because it had the full album push of Columbia behind it. So Drake, being the entertainer that he is, may do it. Now, at this point, also, the beef might just be over because my niece went to Governor's Ball. Push only did Infrared, and when everybody was like, F Drake, da-da-da-da, he was like, nah, he's that down. So he might be a respectful winner going, I destroyed it with some bars. Now let's move on for what hip-hop's supposed to be. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but we're not going to be disrespectful because this is hip-hop.
It's put a lot of strength on Daytona, too.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's that. But I will say the fact is, off the last battle, Drake is an entertainer, and he was able to float more almost like a rapper because of that beef with Meek Mills. And now it's kind of like, now when people beef, we're going to expect that people are going to drop bars and it's going to get ugly. Like, and
do we think he went too far, Pusha T, with the 40 line? Do you think he went too far with touching 40?
I mean, honestly, when we're talking about rappers, like, they're talking about killing each other. So joking on a guy's friend on the sidelines, so kind of like a cipher, like you spitting, like freestyling in the lunchroom, you kind of throwing shots.
I thought it was fair game too, so considering he really went for Kanye. I felt, honestly, Drake pulled more shots on Kanye than on Push at that point.
Facts. Why would he do that anyway? What was the energy for that?
Well, because he was trying to, what in terms of Pusha throwing LVO 40 into the mix, what he was doing was, since you attack my label, I'm going to attack your label. And that's why I said I felt like that was fine. I just think that the kid was a little bit too much, because there's a little kid somewhere, like, that's where I draw the line. Like, if you wanted to allude, but that the fact that the kid's name is Adonis Adonai, and which I understand, which is Drake's new partnership with Adidas, but I just felt like that small piece, the blackface was fine because I get it. It's hip hop. Take it out of context, because there's a lot of people who aren't going to research why he did the thing and stuff like that. It was never hidden. It was always there.
Right.
And people forget that Drake started off as an actor, entertainer before he got into this. So it's not like he should have to answer why. You know, someone says something really smart, like, you know, people don't have to answer their lives for armchair activists on social media.
Right.
They don't have to. But I felt like the kid, because now if that kid grows up and decides to throw some bars Pusha T on there will be like, oh, yo, be like, you brought up my name when I was like 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one's going to feel bad. They're going to be like, well.
So let me guys ask you a question, though, because I get it. The whole 40 thing is fair game because, they're talking about each other's labels and stuff. But coming from a person with chronic illnesses, I kind of feel like you're talking about somebody who has basically a death sentence. Or why would you know what I mean? That's almost the same thing as you talking about somebody with cerebral palsy, with autism, or like, you know what I mean? That's just something you don't go for it. Like 40 didn't ask to have a death sentence or to die early. You know what I mean? So for you to kind of come at him like that, come at him for something else. Come at him because of the girl that he's been kicking it with, or the lifestyle that he lives, or the type of music he lets out. You don't have to go that low and be that corny to go after something like that. You know what I mean?
All I gotta say is welcome to 2018 and anything goes, and there is no chill. There's no chill anymore.
But that's where it comes to say, like he said in the beginning, if it was me, I'm not rapping back another third 16. We fighting. I'm pulling up to Virginia and I'm fighting. Pusha Terrence is getting punched in the mouth. Pusha Terrence.
But you know what it is? I think that what I did appreciate about how real it was, because even got a lot of these, auto-tune new trap rappers, I'm not going to name no names, but, there was one that got caught out there running when, Lil Uzi rolled up, cause he got this video of you running down the street.
Not about that life.
And I'm just like, there's too many, I think rap was at a point where it was like, all right, people weren't about that life because it was selling units, and then now everybody about this pill popping, and it's just like, it's a lot of people just putting on persona, and it was like, there are a couple of random kids that will show up.
That will be about it.
I think it's a problem.
You got to consider that.
It's a problem, I think, and it's not a shot at 6ix9ine, but if Tekashi 6ix9ine show up in your hood and you disappear, you've got no credibility. And I'm not saying that,
Who runs from a unicorn?
He said that, though. He said, what do you look like running from a kid with rainbow hair? He said it himself.
Entourages is always dangerous. You don't know who's running with who. It's a dangerous thing.
Now, what I will say is, though, Tekashi 6ix9ine isn't stupid. He pulls a 50, though. He comes out with real security. Let's just be honest. He's got real security.
That's because he has because how he claims about being a blood and all this stuff like that. That's because he has the highest of high on pay grade. That's what it is. It's all about being paid. If you're gonna pay the right people for something, that's just basically what it is, and that's what hip hop has basically come to, and that's how all entertainment industry has been lately, and that's why we've been talking about having a question in regards to our music today. Let me ask you guys a question. How you feel on this? Let's say with Cardi B's new song, I Like It Like That. Yeah, everybody likes it because it's cool. It's putting out a very, big song that Hispanic likes and
Shout
stuff like
Jay
that.
White.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is do you listen to the lyrics and what she's saying? And she's talking about being a certified blood and I'm gang and all this stuff. But then when you're at home, we're telling our kids, this is the wrong thing to do. This is not something that you should glorify and stuff like that. But then meanwhile, everybody is bumping this song. This song is in all types of, radio stations and stuff like that.
But Cardi never hid who she was. She never I'm from the street. I was a stripper. I was all these things. And that's just what it is. Hers is a little bit different because it's more in line with the fact of I've always been who I am. It's not even like some of these rappers that we just mentioned who even took on a hood persona once they got on. She was like, I've always been from the hood. I've always been from the gutter. These are always the things that I've been.
Yeah.
You can't bring it up now in that song. Her first single was talking about bloody shoes. She has a whole situation got a whole shoe dealer of calling things bloody shoes. So
look at where she's at.
But that's all. Yeah. But that's all somewhere I'm talking about though is that since she's in such a high level, and I know she hasn't hit it from the beginning, but the point is that when we go home, we tell our kids, we tell our nephews, we tell our godkids, don't do drugs, don't be in gangs, don't do this. But then when we go out to party, certified, I'm getting what?
But then no shade. But then if that's the case, then we'll have to hold Snoop Dogg is accountable for his entire career.
The 90s was in a different era though, but also in the same instance, children in the 90s were children.
Well, listen.
Kids nowadays are not children.
No,
They're not.
They're not children.
They're not. And we're going to wrap this up with a saying, listen. Drake, you still got another 24 hours. Okay?
You 24
We
more.
still want to hear this. All right? I still want to know what happens next. But you know what? We're gonna push that aside. And we're going to talk about the guests that we have here today.
Yes.
So let's start off with Mark Marvel.
Hey, what's up, guys? Peace.
So Mark Marvel comes from Staten Island.
Staten Island, New York, Brooklyn, New York.
And by way of the Philippines, of course.
Oh, yeah. So let's go back on the origin. Before Brooklyn.
Yes.
Bloodline existed.
And Mark Marvel is a comic book illustrator, which y'all already know, writer.
Yes,
writer.
correct.
Excuse me. Illustrative director. That's what I meant to say. You see how this goes? So listen, illustrative director. Let's talk about your comic book, The Realest Bayani.
Right. So The Realest Bayani, I broke down on a lot of interviews that it was inspired by my cousin that passed away in 2013, Marlon Ramos. So I based the protagonist, the main character that we're dealing with, on somewhat of his life. So it was inspired.
Mm-hmm.
So I dip into a lot. So what I wanted to share with you guys specifically and uniquely for this year was that I based it upon the actual atmosphere of the Philippines, from the gang culture to the political climate. With Duterte, I created a character in somewhat of his energy. He's kind of like a Negan mixed with Kingpin, mixed with I think of a raw character, like a boss-like character. So he plays the mayor as Victor Castro. And another aspect of it is the gang life. My cousin, Marlon, was part of a Filipino gang from being in jail. They were like a form of Bloods, maybe like a Filipino version of Bloods.
Right.
But, so he was in that lifestyle and he turned his life around. So the character kind of leaves that lifestyle, but with a little bit more of a heroic background. Like he was kind of ex-military Filipino ranger. The Army Rangers are equal to or even superior, maybe I don't want to say, but to Marines, they're kind of on that level, Navy SEAL status. So that's where he gains those fighting abilities. So he has more Muay Thai kickboxing.
Right.
So it's brought me to another aspect of Filipino, which is Filipino lifestyles, which is the poverty. I feel like a lot of people aren't aware of what real third world, what real struggle is.
Absolutely.
So I wanted to highlight some of that factor, some of those factors inside of the Bayani through different lifestyles.
Right.
To the gang members, to Marlon's character.
I'm gonna pull up a picture here, and I believe if I'm not mistaken, this is the first. It's the first issue you have.
Yes.
So talk to me about the idea of the cover art for this, because this is a dope image.
Right. So part of what TCNY is, The City Needs You, that's my actual comic book company.
Right.
I wanted to do something beyond just Marvel or DC or just Image, like a one word. I wanted to give people a calling, you know, to them personally, to say the city needs you. I already see the person's gears working. What is it that that I could give to the world or to my city or my community or just my family, So that comic book cover represents real heroes, real people. So what I was doing in the beginning of my whole entire company was asking people to help by buying T-shirts, that had the TCNY logo or whatever.
Right.
And I was giving them actual characters that was in their likeness. Remember, he was like, "Yo, let me see this character."
Yes, and we're gonna talk about that. Yeah. Absolutely.
So that particular artist, 7 Star, is located in Florida. He was the guy that was so portrait-like. His style was so portrait-like. He was originally supposed to be the interior artist as well.
Right.
So I realized he didn't have sequential art experience, and that's different from just drawing on a canvas or just a page.
Of course.
To do sequential art is telling the story without having the words, or it should be that clear. So that's what English comics, American comics move left to right, like we read. That's why with manga, KMO, you sound like a manga character. you read from the back to the left.
Right.
That's how they read in Japanese.
Maybe we need to make that happen.
Yeah, facts. Philippines.
I have a character. Apparently, I have a character that was influenced.
Right, so
by me. So talk to them about that.
About Danny's character. Yes. So what's unique about your character was that I gave you kind of the essence you kind of gave me, and when you were like, "Yo, I'll help you promote this. I'll help you interview it." You said it on Facebook. I was like, "Who's this person again?" And then, so when we actually met, you had like that real energy, like interview. Like I felt like I was about to get interviewed by, you know, an unknown Angie Martinez.
Yes,
like,
thank you.
Of that nature, you know. So when we sat down and we were talking, I was like, "Wow, she's like a reporter." So in the comic book, I created Flip News, which is frontline in the Philippines. So they're there when the first arrival of like certain things just start happening on the get, because this is like 2036 near future status. So I could play with a lot of my imagination, things that we've seen before and things that have not been done, which is why I've done massive research since like 2008 on Marvel, DC, Image Comics to see what hasn't been done, you know, and see how I can step out that box.
So tell me about this picture that I'm about to pull up now.
So this picture, right, drawn by, that was drawn by Brian and Dan. He's the second artist. That's the one that drew you. So
Shout outs to him.
Shout out to Brian and Dan. And it was colored by Yuri Pinzone, who's actually picking up from where Brian was, because he jumped off the project real quick.
So hang on a second. Let's backtrack a minute, just one second. So you have like a lot of stuff really going on. Like how many people do you have really working with you on this project?
Me.
No, I know it's you, but how many people have you collaborated with?
Team Bayani, I've collaborated and included, you mean?
Yeah.
It's an army.
Yeah.
If I was to get like everyone put into one room, we'd really be the next Marvel headquarters.
I'm done.
Straight up.
That's awesome.
Facts. Thank you. So that last cover that you pulled up was it was in the honor and tribute of the Bruce Lee picture where he's DJing.
Hang on, we're gonna put it up one more time just to make sure these people get right.
Make sure they get it.
So we cut off his sleeves, so he got that Bruce Lee cut. His style's more Muay Thai. This character, the Bayani, Realest Bayani, that's Marlon. His style's like Muay Thai kickboxing, because that's where he was put in the jungles to fight when he was in the army. So they taught him kickboxing out there. And then when he came back, he was like dishonored military. I want to tell the whole story and all that.
Yeah.
But you know, he's nasty with the hands. Just put it that way.
So where can we find all of the information in regards to your comic book, The Realest Bayani?
Okay, yeah. So that was another thing. So right now I solidified thecityneedsyou.com. So that should be popping somewhere around I'm thinking late June to early July. And yeah, we should expect the second issue popping up after, because I'm working on that now. It took a while for the first, because that's just a masterpiece. That's the time. That's, you know, it's like God taking time. It's like, let me wait till the 7th day to make this dude right now.
There you go.
I'm going to mess up a little bit. I'm going to work through his mistakes, you know? So
that's what's up, man.
Yes, thank you.
That's awesome. All right, so now let's talk about the music front, because I know you got a little bit going on over there.
Yes.
The last I saw, you had released something, I believe it was
Real Love
on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
What was up with that? What was the theme behind that? What was the inspiration?
Love was inspired by that girl on the couch.
We can't get a shot of her, but we will later. We will show you pictures.
Real love.
Yeah, anytime she's around me, I got 100 Cupids shooting. She be like, damn, B. Yeah. Fact, but yeah, it was inspired by a real life situation, you know, and real life circumstances of just, you know, being around somebody and knowing that they're going through things before they even met you.
Yeah.
You know, and it really takes real love to have that unconditional, no matter what condition it is. That says it shouldn't have a condition for you to love somebody.
Right.
You gotta really love them in their pain, or in you know, if they want to get lit every night or whatever the case is, or whatever you see them struggling through. You gotta be there, and you gotta be real with the fact that sometimes they'll fall. You know, and you gotta have that godlike quality, like be able to forgive, be able to uplift and inspire them to move forward.
Where can we find your music?
Oh, my bad. You can find me at markmarvel.tcny on Instagram. I'm gonna use that largely.
That's already up, so y'all can see it on the bottom on the lower third, somewhere up in here. Go follow him.
Real love. Produced by Lon City. He follows you too.
I know. Shout outs to Lons. He's probably watching, or he's gonna be watching in a minute. So shout out to you.
He got to produce something for us.
I know he does.
Your vocals you're there.
Oh yeah, by the way, Cocineros, if you didn't know, Shorty over here got a little voice.
Yeah, you got some voices.
Little something, but it's not about me. It's about Mark.
It's always about you.
Facts.
It's your show.
But we all connected.
Nah, absolutely. So, what else do you got going on musically? Anything else you got coming out soon?
Musically, I have a project that's coming out called No Titles. Inspired by a conversation that said, hey, no titles. And I was like, I'm with it. You know, let's move forward, make it official when it's official. You know what I mean?
I love no titles. I'm with that.
Can't water that.
All about the no titles, Eddie.
Yeah.
I can't. She crazy. I can't.
Yeah.
But that's wonderful, though. I'm so glad you're doing so well.
Focus.
Talk to me about your baby.
Right. So
He's
Hero,
awesome.
You see how everything's connected. Hero, Bayani, the title of the comic book, means hero. So before Hero was made, I was making the comic book. And actually, the comic book, he just popped out the panels. I swear, like his timing couldn't have been more perfect, you know.
Awesome.
And I named him after an actual Pinoy actor, a Filipino actor, just because I love the name, and I was like Hero Angelus, you know. And I was like, yo, I love that. And I was like, Angel, you can't be Angel because any angel I know was a badass. For real.
You
So I
ain't
needed
never
to
lying.
Do that more, like Angelus. Add a few more angels on the inside.
That's awesome. Well, shout outs to the Philippines today because they're celebrating their independence. So that's another reason to have you on the show.
Yes.
Nobody better. Asian Pacific
Your
Heritage
timings
Month
are good.
was last month in May. So yeah, you want to give a shout out to all your Filipinos. Go right in your camera. Talk to them.
Filipinos. Shout out to everybody in the Philippines that's rocking with the Realest Bayani. That's Team Bayani. That's Calzado, Madumi Cuarto. Q York, salute all the way to Manila. That wave, we on that wave, baby.
Yes, and shout out to Shaolin Land. Staten Island is in the building. We got both the islands in the building. We got Staten Island, and now we about to move over to Long Island. Let's move over. Let's move over. Hang on.
To the left.
We gonna pull up. We gonna pull up.
Pull up. There he go.
Pull up, Nick Slay. I'm kidding. He's gonna kill me. All right, so listen. Here's the deal, right? His name governmentally is Nick Slay, but his artist name is The Ambition 1706, and old habits die hard. So
Nick
with love,
Slay is so dope.
I know it is dope.
My great grandfather and my grandfather both named Nick Slay.
Really? That is
name.
such like that's like an actor's. That's like
girl, you're a makeup artist?
Yes.
Wouldn't you love to have the last name Slay, like Katana Slay?
Oh my God, I almost did. Do you know that low key? I almost became Katana Slay. I really did.
Well, now we gonna talk to The
You
Ambition.
almost were my business husband. Just so that you know, I almost became Slay.
He's taken, girl.
I know. Shout out to her. She's beautiful.
We don't want no beef with Selena Dabbs. Shout outs to her.
Yeah, get married in November.
Oh, Scorpio season.
Scorpio season.
Hey.
Nah, but real talk. Let's talk about you and what you have going on, sir. Because you have chased the crown.
Yeah.
That's available on Spotify and all music platforms as far as I'm concerned.
Please cop that today.
Yes.
Streams up.
Chase the crown. As a matter of fact, we can play something while we talk.
Let's do it. Let's jam a little bit.
As a matter of fact, I was actually on one of them.
She was recruited.
I was recruited for the cause.
Nice.
As a matter of fact, let's talk about that first so we can get that out of the way because I actually want to run a few videos that I have in regards to that project. So let's talk about She Cries at Night and what the purpose was behind this record.
So when I started working on this project, I just started teaching. I'm a music technology teacher as well. You know, I do this. I work with at-risk kids and and kids from the city, and that's kind of like my thing. That's where I'm at in the movement. And in writing this album, a lot of my female students, they really took this concept of learning how to create music and learning about copyrights and how to produce the heart. And they were like dropping like Kendrick Lamar stuff. They were talking about police brutality, equality in the United States. A lot of my students, they were, they're Dominican, Puerto Rican, they're black, they're African. And so they were really giving me real vibes of what it's like to grow up in the Bronx, to grow up in Harlem. And I was like, and I'm writing this song like, because if you've heard She Cries at Night, it's a very Prince vibe. It's got that, it's got that Sheila E., kind of Prince vibe to it. And what ended up happening was I was like, I just can't write.
Ooh. See? Look, you talked about it and it came on.
You spoke it into existence. I keep talking about it.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I kind of based it off of how Prince produced The Fabulous Life of Sheila E., and that's kind of like where a lot of it came from. And Zapp and Roger, Computer Love. But I was like, I just can't talk about anything on this record because I got all these female students who are really using this opportunity of music to really talk about stuff that's real. And I'm not going to be talking about wild, crazy R&B, kind of stuff. I'm not going to be Tank. I respect Tank. I'm just not going to be Tank on the record. Yeah. And what happened was I was like, let me talk about something that's real, and something that's really talked about is just really about like a lot of the sexual violence that's happening right now, a lot of the spouse abuse, a lot of like, and it basically I really wanted to talk about a song that really talked about sexual violence,
right?
Talked about rape, and was real. Like, it's, hey, I'm an R&B artist. You know, I like to say an R&B pop artist. You know, like an alternative pop artist. It's kind of where I'm at. But I was like, I know that my fan base is mostly going to be female, and I want to talk about something that's real that they're going through, and not just, oh, they're a great single mom or I'm every woman. It's like, yo, let's talk about some real stuff that's not being talked about. And so that's kind of where She Cries at Night really came from.
So can we run this clip real quick? Yeah.
Let's play it.
So, you know, shout out to Jersey, my boy Cynical. He did the mixing on this record. So, and my boy Maze, you know, 5 Towns, you know, he did the drum production on this. So,
cool. I'm hoping that they can hear it. I'm pretty sure.
But it's the heart of rosy cheeks are blowing that. She gives him love, he gives her pain. But she's been hurt so much, the hurt is all the same. Now what are you gonna do? It's up to me and you, now that you know the truth. She cries until she goes to sleep. She hides the pain, 'cause when she goes to sleep, she cries at night. Until she goes to sleep, she hides the pain, 'cause when she goes to sleep, she cries at night. When she says no, most men argue if she means they stop.
Wasn't that lovely?
Dope song.
Right?
It's so dope.
I love this song.
I have to tell you something, Nick, low key. I never told you this, but when this song actually, when I first heard it from Danny, when she introduced me to it, I had just had neck surgery and I was like stuck in the house for like a full month. It was like boring. And I had just gotten this laptop and I was like, it's been a long time since I had written. I used to be a performance poet and everything like that, but I hadn't done it in a long time. And listening to this song, like really like listening to the lyrics and really like getting into it, actually inspired me to write, where I actually did write a 16 to that song. I just needed to tweak like 1 or 2 bars to it, but it's complete. It's complete. I never showed it to anybody but Danny Ray, but like this song really like inspired me to like listen and like get into the beat and get into the song and just like start writing again, which was really cool. So like big ups to you on this project because it's really like dope.
I appreciate that.
Right? Isn't that cool?
Word.
No, but you the way in which you go about your musical process, take us through that, because a lot of people don't understand that you are a multi-instrumentalist. You know, this isn't just you sitting on, you know, a little board with a little few buttons that light up and just going. So take us through that. Like, really educate the people, because not only do you do that, but you worked with, you know, within music, you're working with a lot of people. So I don't think you're really telling us everything.
Well, I mean, if we're just talking about my process, it's this song came from actually like I did a little bass line. Because I play guitar, I play bass, I play keys, I play percussion, I sample, and I did a little bass line, and I really didn't know what to do with it, so I was bored. So, you know, I opened up FL Studio and I chopped it up a little bit. And then once I got there, I was like, oh, this is a nice little vibe to it. This is all right. So then I threw some keys on it. I put my drum stuff on it, and I was like, you know, and then I really started getting the vibe for the song, and I was like, well, what am I going to really do with this?
Right.
So, you know, I met up with my boy Maze, you know, from college, and we kind of like arranged the song. And then, so he redid some of the drum production on it just to give it that nice 80s feel to it.
Yeah.
And then we headed out to Jersey. So my boy Cynical, you know, shout out Cynical.
Shout out to Cynical. I met him, dope dude.
Dope artist,
Jersey.
dope rapper,
yes.
Amazing engineer. So him and Vitamin K, they stitched that up.
Yeah.
and kind of made it the record that it is, and really kind of took it the direction that I really wanted to go to. But I mean, I'm a complicated person when
kidding.
in terms of how I produce.
He has a
There's
burgundy leather jacket on, and he doesn't think he's complicated.
And these lights is hot, honey.
Hot, honey. Like,
my friend's from New Orleans though, so you know, heat is nothing to me.
he used to the heat.
Pass me some Tabasco, it's whatever. But
Cajun.
yeah, well, I'm Creole. It's a little difference. There's a little difference between Cajun and Creole.
Okay.
But you know, my process is always different because I always approach things differently.
Right.
But as soon as I kind of caught a vibe for this song, I knew that it needed to be a little something more. And a big part of Chase the Crown is a lot of the songs kind of either uplift women or discuss women in a positive light. You're going to notice that when you listen to the first album. Now, what's online right now is just the Chase the Crown EP. The full album, you know, we're going to drop that for July 4th.
Word?
Yeah, this is a part. This is a series. This is a part of stuff. I got some.
Word?
Party.
I got some like Shy, Drew Hill, Teddy Riley.
Nuh-uh.
You know.
Listen, let me tell you one thing about Nick. Let me tell you one thing about the Ambition 1706. Okay. Here's a dude that plays 0 to no games, and not only that, but you're so blessed. That's number one, because I have no idea how, but She Cries at Night ends up on Bronx News 12 in the morning, and I had found out through a very dear friend of mine, Justin Fotish, shout outs to him. He was like, yo, do you know that you're on the news? I'm like, how am I on the news? Like, there's no way I'm on the news, and it can't be for a good reason, so why am I on the news? But it was on Bronx News 12, and I'll play that clip for y'all real quick.
Before that, a Bronx music teacher was inspired by his own students' expression through song and wanted to create a project that would really make a difference.
News 12's Jessica Cuddington has this story.
Everybody can agree when someone's been hurt. Let's talk about that. That's the real thing. She's actually writing the effects of domestic violence on the mirror.
A Bronx music teacher and singer creating this song and music video with an all-woman crew to show the pain and suffering of domestic violence and sexual assault victims.
You know, suffering PTSD, you know, flashbacks. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the women that need help.
Nick Slay says he wanted to dedicate his next R&B project to something powerful and also give back. It's called She Cries at Night.
Okay, and in that same breath, during that same afternoon,
Tell him what happened.
what happens? You tell him what happens.
Of course, like I said, I was at home, you know, getting better, and I saw it on New Jersey 12 News in the afternoon and in the evening, and then it was on Channel 7 News in New York.
Yeah, and let's pull that up because we got that one too. We gonna let that one rock real quick, just in case y'all thought we was kidding.
He wasn't quite.
Trying to fight domestic violence with music. A local teacher using his R&B talents to create an important message for victims.
The song called She Cries at Night aims to raise money for awareness of domestic and sexual assault. Eyewitness News reporter Lauren Glassberg has the story from Brooklyn.
Nick Slay is a singer who also teaches music technology to middle schoolers in Brooklyn and the Bronx. It was his students who inspired his song She Cries at Night, a song about domestic violence.
A lot of my female students, they really gravitated to social and civic issues, police violence, and racism, and I really felt like I would dishonor them if I just wrote traditional R&B. I really want to make sure I said something in my music.
Nick gathered 8 women to create this video. Some acted in it, one directed it, and the others were behind the scenes. The goal was to tell this story through their eyes.
A lot of my students are Black, Dominican, African,
I forgot how long.
and these are
For
real
real.
issues for them.
All right, well listen,
You get the point.
you get it.
But they were on ABC News. I'm just saying.
How did that happen, Nick?
They actually, it was funny. They called me. I'm like, and I picked up the phone, like, because I it was a weird number, and like, so I take a break. I was like in between class with students, and they were just like, yeah, we picked up your song, and we want to cover it, and can we meet up with you today?
Whoa.
Yeah. So I mean, that was the blessings of God. Like, it just, it kind of blew up, and I really only even put it on YouTube just so some of my friends could hear it, and stuff like that, just to get a vibe for what it was. Like, I didn't really get to put a chance to really push it. I just wanted to be able to I put it up on YouTube so I could, because basically for everybody that doesn't know, this is a charity run with this song.
Yeah.
So basically what I did is I did a charity to raise money for a special charity that actually works with women who are domestic violence victims in New York. Right. So I kind of put it up on YouTube so that way I could kind of link it to the GoFundMe so everybody could, donate money for that. Cause. And it just kind of like everybody kind of found it. And I was like, oh, well, I guess this is a thing now.
Wow.
That's dope.
So.
Happy accidents happen all the time.
Yeah. So, I mean, please, go on GoFundMe.com.
Yes.
Look up the Ambition 1706. Please, we're giving money to donate to a shelter system in the city to, that actually works with women that have suffered from domestic violence and sexual abuse and stuff like that. So please do that. Please be a part of that. We kind of want to make sure that we do the good work.
Yeah.
So please do that. Head over to my, my Instagram, _ambition_1706. Wherever you see the videos playing, it'll give you all the details of everything that you need to know for the song. And, let's try to change some lives. Let's try to do something good.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
So I want to play something else because you do have something else going on. And I believe you sent me, it was not She Cries at Night, not Drowning, but Come Alive in the Night time, right? Come Alive.
Oh, no.
What's the clip you sent me? You sent me the, we're going to play it. And Nick can identify the video.
He can tell us what it is.
We're going to play a little game.
After. We'll play a little game. Name that song.
Name this tune.
Name that song.
Hang on.
She's been on Netflix.
Right.
She did some stuff with Spike Lee. Like, she's popping. She helped me kind of create the artistic vision along with Red Iris for Come Alive in the Nighttime. The blessing with that song is the first time I put it up. Like, it actually did really well in Germany. Like, I don't know why, but like I was getting all these likes and follows from like all these weird names that I didn't understand. And like I have a couple of German friends who was like, oh, those are German names. And I was like, oh, okay, so this is where this is popping. Like, that's great. And I really kind of, the artistic vision was that everybody knows I'm a really big Prince fan. I'm a big Raphael Sadiq fan.
Right.
So Come Alive in the Nighttime, I was kind of like, I imagine if like Prince or Raphael Sadiq kind of went in the studio with like a Zaytoven or something like that and made a joint.
Right.
And that's, hence the high falsetto, it's, so it's got a lot of Raphael Sadiq vibe, a lot of Prince vibe. Shout out to my boy Ali G. Ali K, And
Ali G.
Yeah.
You ain't the only one that can be messing up names.
Yeah, he played the guitar on that. I meant to do it, and then he just did such an amazing job. I was like, well, so I'm just gonna let you have that.
Yeah.
Now that dude's so bad, he played Prince on his wedding day. That's how much of a beast of the guitar he is. And it really kind of kicked off what would become Chase the Crown. And Chase the Crown because, it's Prince holds the crown, in terms of musicianship. Like, if you ever had a question on how dope Prince is, watch the behind the scenes for, the Tim Burton Batman, the first Batman.
Yeah.
And, he talks about like how he produced the songs like Bat Dance and Party Man, and he goes behind the scenes and just watch this dude wild out on the guitar, and you're like, Prince is a beast. And that's not to necessarily to downplay his millions of bodies of work, but just to see him behind the studio just talking on some BS tip, like I'm this, my fingers are blurring on the screen, but this is how nasty I am, but I'm having a regular conversation, like this is regular degular Sunday.
Regular Sunday with La Cocina podcast. Hope you tuning in. Go ahead.
But that's what kind of moved me. And so when he passed, I was like, there was this void, and Chase the Crown isn't to be like, oh, I'm gonna be the next Prince. You know, shout out to Bruno Mars. When I went to the Grammys 2 years ago, my beautiful fiance, you know, he destroyed it. He did an amazing job. The goal with Chase the Crown is not to fill the void that Prince left, but it's just to pay homage. Thank you. Homage to what he did with his musicality. And so even with Come Alive, what we did with the visuals, it was the kind of like to take the feet off that energy of what he used to do with groups like Apollonia and stuff like that.
Right.
And so we kind of just had Rise Powell be my muse in that and stuff like that. She's also going to be starring in the Drowning video that's going to be coming out soon as well. And you know,
I want to pull up Drowning. I want to see if I can. Go ahead, keep talking.
Yeah, so you know, but what things that you're going to notice between songs like Drowning, I got a great song called Loving Me Right with Demi Harris of Demonique, amazing group from South Africa. They got joints for days.
Oh, you international, honey.
So I did a joint for their project that we're mixing, but Demi, you know, kind of I respect her pen game. She really came up with this dope concept for Love Me Right. And what you're gonna notice with these songs is I never describe a woman physically. It's always about the feelings, the emotions, the vibe, the situations. Wow. I don't want to feel any girl or woman that hears a song to feel like if they hear the song, it's not about them because I say, you know, brown skin, brown eyes, or, you know, Boiqua, or, you know,
Black, Asian.
Yeah, I just want you to feel like this could be you. This song can be for you. And I think that women get, you know, women get kind of pushed down into this box of their looks, you know, the most in this society, instead of looking, you know, especially even you look at back at African cultures, like they were the cornerstone of society.
Right.
So I kind of wanted to do something a little bit different, you know, especially in a world right now where women don't get their due. And this kind of like sounds like a love letter to women. You know, my mother passed away when I was 14, and she made a great impact on why I am the man that I am today. Taught me how to cook, how to clean, how to know my history, to be strong, how to speak up for myself,
right?
My Creole culture, and you know, I just wanted to pass that along, and basically like, you know, I kind of freaked out because my niece Aaliyah, she heard She Cries at Night. And I started to freak out because, you know, songs about sexual violence, domestic violence, stuff like that. And she's like, Uncle Nick, I'm so proud of you. And I'm like, I did the right thing because, you know,
you did.
I would have preferred that my 10-year-old niece be a little bit older before we have that discussion about these things happening in the world.
But at this point, I mean, you can't even wait anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Kids aren't kids anymore. This is, again, piggybacking to what we were talking about before. Kids aren't kids anymore. They're growing up a lot faster than what they were back in the 90s.
So it created a really great way of having this dialogue about some things happen, and you know, and kind of like to, you know, to know your truth, you know, how to protect yourself, and just be real. And so it kind of opened up that dialogue.
Well, I do want to open the forum back up again. I believe that should be the conclusion for both interviews. However, I do want to just bring y'all fellas back into the conversation and talk about a few things that are going on right now. I'm not sure if any of you gentlemen have watched 13 Reasons Why, that show, 13 Reasons Why.
I've heard of it.
You know what? I tried.
You tried? And what happened?
I just never was able to get into that show for some reason.
Yeah.
I think I'm sleeping on it.
You know, there was a lot of touchy subjects that related on that show.
Yeah.
And I believe it's the last episode, episode 13 of season 2. They included some really rough images, really graphic images of sexual assault, and this time it was from a male counterpoint's perspective. And a lot of people argued and said that it was too much to handle. You know, a lot of people said that it was too graphic. Maybe they went a little bit too far. So I obviously can't ask you questions about that, but in regards to just the awareness of everything in regards to music and in regards to movies or in regards to television, do you guys not see the shift in what's happening with a lot of things becoming more political? A lot of touchy subjects are being opened up. And what is your guys' thoughts upon that? I'll start with you, Mark.
Particularly on the aspects of that show where that could be going, or
no, just in general. Like, do you feel that music is shifting? Music and television and shows are shifting, and it's showing a side of things that we never knew before. It's opening a Pandora's box of questions that we have not yet explored in terms of our society. Mm-hmm. So in regards to mental health, in regards to sexual assault and things of that nature, do you find that it's becoming more prominent in our culture to discuss? And how do you feel about that? Do you feel it should be open conversation?
Yes. Honestly, I feel like awareness of any injustice is necessary, whether it be racism, whether it be
political corruption in your case.
Political corruption, and these are the things that if we don't create that discussion, then kids aren't prepared because they need that knowledge. They need to know what is wrong.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because if they're being taught and desensitized by media, especially, I feel like that police brutality thing, it's like a virus. Like, for some reason, we see that every day, and it makes the people that are authorities or that are supposed to help us become our enemies.
Right.
Yeah.
You know? And it only leads towards rebellious natures to develop over time to create a martial law situation. Right. So, the awareness to prevent something is so key. I feel
Absolutely.
Like that massive information age, all the things we have access to.
And one last question, because you, unlike us, you're already a parent, you're already a father. Yeah. How do you feel about being a father in 2018 and what's going on?
Yeah, so with Leading Hero, I feel like what I've been exposed to knowledge-wise and my involvement in the community, the music community especially. That's why I love where Nick is coming from. Like the aspects he's giving women to understand that men understand.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
if that's not given, then I feel for somebody like Hero to not know that we know what he needs to prepare for,
right,
and what he needs to lead the next generation with. Because I feel like in our time, there was a generation that kind of was lackadaisical, very settling. Like they just settled for what was there, and they never became who they were supposed to be. Which is why we get this whole generation of Gary V movements, that like, what are you doing? What's wrong with you? And we're just like, what is wrong with me? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And sometimes we need those moments of self-reflection to think back and think, okay.
Motivation.
Yeah. So Nick, I'm going to bring it to you then, and I'm going to ask you the same thing. How do you feel about the direction in which we're going musically and politically and all
I think we're in a situation where we have an administration that kind of is allowed to lie.
Can you step a little closer to the microphone? I'm sorry.
Slide to the left.
There you go.
So I think that we're in a situation where we have an administration that's allowed to lie and kind of say the things that it says about people on the world stage in the world community, say the things that it says about women, treat African Americans the way that it does, treat Central Americans the way that they does, that we cannot hide anything anymore.
Yeah.
We need to be upfront. I make the joke with my father because my father, is very big in political science. He watches the news all the time. And it's just, if you weren't sure about how our democracy worked, you know now after Trump being president.
Yes.
And I feel like, and maybe in showing a man suffering sexual violence, maybe it might bring it home. I think maybe that there should be a disclaimer, but I think that it should be something that's discussed, because even rape when it happens to women, it's like there is even like a fetish to it. Like, you can go on Pornhub or something like that. And, and so I think that to go to level the playing field and say this is things that happen, because it is, a man will just never really talk about it.
Right.
Or, a father might be slightly relieved if your 17-year-old son is having sex with a female teacher. That level of that sigh of relief is kind of hard. It's like that. This is a different discussion I'm gonna have with my son now. I think that it happens. There's a lot of men that when it does happen, it does stay in silence, because especially in certain cultures it does happen.
Right.
And then just also the fact that maybe seeing it might make a man go, that's crazy. And now I have an idea maybe of what a woman's going through.
Right.
Let's talk about it. And I'm for anything that starts a positive dialogue.
Yeah.
My thing is because I actually did see it. Me and Danny did see it. My thing is more like, okay, where was the censorship in this? Like, okay, yes, I get it. They're sending out a message. They're bringing awareness to it. But I just feel like you're also getting kids that are in high school. You're getting, like, it's reaching out to the masses.
Yeah.
I feel like because the situation in which she's talking about is where there was a kid in the show who ends up getting sodomized in the bathroom with a broomstick. Now, this is something that has had happen in real life to a kid in some school that they ended up having this happen to them. So, okay, they're touching a real subject. But could it just have been where, okay, you see him getting the swirlies in the toilet. Could you just have seen the dude grab the broomstick and walk towards him and then scene? You know what I'm saying? We get the
I don't
hint.
think it would have carried the same context.
You feel like it needed to be shown?
Well, remember, it's Netflix, so they can.
Yeah.
That's the situation.
Because they did.
They can. I think that maybe some type of viewer, should be taught, should be some kind of views like, hey, something wild's going to happen in this episode. Brace in case you're with your kids.
Well, they did do that. It just, for me, it was, I don't know.
But it happens. I mean, there's even cases where, people have reported that police officers have done that to people. Like, so the situation. It
has happened, yeah.
So I think that it's something real. It did happen. And I think that I think that by leveling the playing field, by showing that it happens to everyone, when we as a society understand that rape culture can happen to anyone, then we really get to the fact that we understand the fact that rape culture is based around power. Right. It's around ignorance. It's around anger. It's not about, I wanted a girl, she said no, so I split her legs open anyway, or I didn't realize that she was too drunk for me to stick my penis inside of her. Yeah. So when we discuss it like that, it kind of opens everybody's eyes that it is not just purely a sexual act.
Right.
It is a sexual act without someone's consent.
Yeah.
But it's not just a sexual act. And I think
there's
that
a lot more to it.
So that's it. And I get it. I'm not a parent, so I don't have to play cleanup with that. It's like anybody who watched that. Oh, sorry.
No, I didn't mean to cut you off, Bobby. But since he said we're running out of time, but since you said parent, I felt like that was a perfect intro to. Let's ask the parent in the room. Let's. We're not a parent, so we have no idea. 1.5. But you do have to prepare for it, though. You do have to prepare for it. And I'm pretty sure, all of us have godchildren, nieces and nephews. I'm sure, Nick, you have, younger nieces and nephews. I think you did talk about one. So in that aspect, how would you feel? For both of you guys, how would you feel about that? Thinking about it in their point of view, them watching it or them talking about it with their friends. Do you think that it was necessary for them really to see them go that far, taking the broomstick and literally going ham on this dude on Netflix?
Yeah, I mean, that controversy created probably all the viewers for this show. Like the fact you guys are talking about it, not that I want to see that, but it's like, why, what? Like, what happened?
Yeah.
But I feel where you're coming from with tasteful directing. It comes with something of that nature.
Like send the message without going hardcore. But then again, like you were saying, that's the Nick. That's the reason why they were reaching the masses that they're getting to is because they're willing to go those extra, lengths.
That's why that parental, you gotta check the stuff.
That parental advisory is real.
Yeah, like you were saying, Nick. Yeah,
well, listen. Here's the thing, right?
1 minute, baby.
I'm totally over that, but
I don't know.
What I will say is this.
That's not
conversations need to happen. Yes, they are uncomfortable. Yes, they are, not exactly appeasing to have, but it is essential. And that's a lot of where the influence for La Cocina podcast came in. And I hope that you understand that as viewers, with the guests that I've chosen today, being, Mark Marvel, who is, Filipino, who's wanting to highlight on corruption within the Philippines, who wants to talk about third world country issues that we could never possibly understand as first generation and first world citizens.
Dropping those keys.
So yeah, you know what I'm saying? Drop a clue bomb. Sorry, I ain't got that kind of technology yet, but okay. But no, seriously, real talk. These conversations need to happen. I'm so grateful to have Nick here, who
Ambition.
I'm sorry.
Ambition.
The Ambition 1706. Look into the camera over there. You're on live. Tell the people you send your love. Give them a quick shout out
and let them know
because it's 8 o'clock and it's a wrap. So
well, it's a wrap. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. You're rocking out with the best. A shout out to Daniel, for having me on once again. We gotta get the other footage.
Oh God, that's stuck on I'm stuck on my laptop that wasn't working. I got upgraded, but my
do it.
Continue. But yeah, please follow me.
Yes.
_ambition_1706. Album is on Spotify, Google Play, all those good, amazing places that you can listen to music. Please look up the GoFundMe Sanctuary for Families.
I really wish you would have given me that information so I could have put it as a lower third, but go follow him so that you can find that.
Yeah, so GoFundMe, the Bitch 1706 Sanctuary for Families, Fund Drive. That's what we're doing. She Cries at Night 4. New single Drowning featuring my homie Mallory Hunter and Leslie Garay. They're both on that joint. Loving Me Right, my other joint featuring Demi Harris of Demonique from South Africa.
Hey.
And, just the other amazing joints. Shout out to, Rise Power for being a part of Come Alive in the Nighttime.
Just any advice?
Oh yeah, everybody that was in that video. I like to point out that my video was written and directed by a woman. It's also my new promo that's gonna be coming out. So it's gonna be pretty.
And it's gonna be a lit summer 2018.
2018.
Hold on, real quick.
Mark Marvel.
Hang on, let's pull off Nick's thingy and put up Mark's. There you go. Oh,
wrong one.
Wait, no, it's the right one. It's on the wrong side.
It's on the wrong side.
Hang on, we gonna edit it.
Boom.
To the left.
And slide to the left.
Here we go.
Hey. What's going on, guys? You can follow me at markmarvel.tcny. TheCityNeedsYou.com should be. Right.
Yeah, he's looking at it. He got it.
TheCityNeedsYou.com should be up by July-ish. So stay tuned for that one. And if you're looking for the music, you can go to iTunes, Spotify, look up Mark Marvel. You find Afterglow.
And you dropped the Realest Bayani. Everything else that we need to know about that?
Right. The Realest Bayani is going to be dropping on TheCityNeedsYou.com.
All right.
Yes.
So, on behalf of La Cocina Podcast, let's pull off Mark Marvel's lower third. Okay.
Let's put on our lower third.
Poof. Just like that.
Boom.
So listen, y'all, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss anything. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and on Facebook at La Cocina Podcast. And lastly, what's the last order of business again? Oh, let's show you guys the lower third of our website, so you can go and visit us there too. Yeah.
Go to our website.
La Cocina Podcast.
Us. If you guys want to get on the show, if you guys have something that you want to reach out to the masses, something that you feel is important, or if you just feel like you think that you can handle the Cocina hot seat with us,
yes,
come and send us through the contact, lacocinapodcast.com.
Absolutely. And shout out to everybody who's watching, and we look forward to seeing you again next Sunday, 7 to 8 on Facebook Live, La Cocina Podcast. Your girls are out.
One more thing.
Wait, that was a good outro. What you doing?
No, but we cannot forget to say shout out to the people that are at Pride right now.
Oh, yes.
Shout out to Pride Month.
Shout out to Pride. Shout out to all my Filipinos. And stay tuned because next week we are expecting Bobby Cruz for the Puerto Rican Day Parade Festival coverage only on La Cocina Podcast. So,
now we out.
That being said, have a good night.
So, sis.